when we did the Thursday Night Football deal with Amazon and decided we were going to stream this thing, we're always encouraging them to figure out new things to do, take advantage of the medium, just don't put television on the internet. And alternative audio was one of them, and they came up with the idea and said, how about these two alternative announcers, and we thought they were great.
How do you measure success when it comes to streaming? You get the ratings, you get the Nielsen ratings on the linear broadcast.
Yep.
Does Amazon provide you the numbers?
They do.
They do?
Yep.
What can you tell us?
Well, I mean, it's public. I mean, this is not the first time we've done it with them. They usually get, on average, anywhere 500,000 people additionally watching it on any given minute. So it's incremental consumption, which is good. And I think the way we measure success, which was your question, first of all, it's got to work. The quality's got to be high. It's got to
of the broadcast.
Of the broadcast. I mean, that's what you really, really need first and foremost.
The standard being what NBC does, of course.
Yeah, I mean, look, broadcasters in general, everybody in this country are used to watching.
That was just throwing something in for the family.
They are very good. Right. Freddie Godelli's very good at what he does. But I think it's just the high quality of the stream. You have an expectation on a big screen of a high definition stream. You need that on the internet, and that's sort of job number one. Job number two is to make sure that the experience is more interactive. So you'll see what they're doing. They broadcast it on Twitch last night as well, which is much more interactive. And then three, we're just looking for incremental consumption.
So here's my long-term question. We're all going to be looking, I mean, we're in 2018, almost 19. 2022 becomes the big moment when the big linear broadcasts, those packages come up.
Right.
And you guys have always been about reaching the broadest group, especially for things like the Super Bowl, Monday Night Football on Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you think that there will be an inflection point in terms of the digital consumption where an OTT player like an Amazon or a YouTube or somebody in that category, Netflix, could come to you and you could say, we could capture as many, if not more eyeballs, it would be sufficient for sponsors, that one of the big packages, not just Thursday, or not in the new packages, one of the Monday Night Football kind of thing, that would actually run as an OTT product?
I think it's possible. I mean, I think you use the word inflection point, and I think we're there. You see every year fewer and fewer people watching television. Now, I don't think television's going away for the NFL. Television is always going to be a really important part of the distribution strategy.
Meaning you would not take it off the broadcast?
Well, I think, yeah. I mean, look, depending what you think on what pay TV is going to happen in this country, right? So is it going to be 80 million homes? Is it going to be 75 million homes? I don't know, but it's not going to be zero. There's still plenty of people who want to get their big event content over television. And we still do that on cable TV today, Becky. So if you're watching a game on ESPN or the NFL Network, it is still over the air in the local teams that play. If New York is playing Cleveland, you will see that over the air in New York and Cleveland, even though that game was on the NFL Network last Thursday. So television's still important, but you see the same numbers you guys talk about it that we see is that, especially with the younger demographic, more and more of their time is spent streaming video content on the internet.
But you don't take, by the way, the Super Bowl is not going to be broadcast on OTT anytime soon.
Well, look, I think, we've talked about this before, we'll have 118 million people at one given time watching the Super Bowl. I've seen nothing on the internet that can sustain 118 million concurrent users on the internet. I don't think it works.
Okay. So, Brian, make a prediction. So just sports overall, 5 years out, who are going to be the big people doing the games? Is it going to be the traditional broadcast guys so Andrew can keep making plugs for NBC? Or is it going to be the digital guys? Like just overall, not NFL specific.
I think they'll both be in it. I think you already see Silicon Valley in the sports business, right? I mean, Amazon's carrying our product. Facebook's carrying Major League Baseball games.
But who will be the bigger the guys long term?
Well, we'll see. I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, you got to not alienate your customers. I think about my parents trying to watch it on a streaming device. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, and you know, you said it before. We're in the business of getting as many people as we can for as long as we can. Reach is our business.
Here, he's watching the Ryder Cup right now. Talking about alienating customers, I'm curious if you could just tell us. You woke up probably 2 weeks ago and saw a headline that Nike had made a deal with Kaepernick, was going to run ads, going to make shoes. It's very possible that NFL players are now going to wear these shoes on the field. Well, what did you think when you first saw that headline?
Well, Kaepernick's been with Nike for a long time, so that's not a surprise. Look, I think Nike...
But it creates a whole new question.
In hindsight, I think it helped.
I'll be the first to say,
I think it helped the NFL.
I thought it was great.
And I think it helps the NFL.
I saw it middle of the day Sunday. I thought it was amazing.
It takes the onus off the NFL to have to deal
you want your
with.
players to deal with issues. Look, we've talked about issues with my friend Meek Mill. You want players to get behind issues that are important to them, to use their platforms. I think that Nike's behind Colin Kaepernick. These are important issues that he raised. It's great as a marketing partner for Nike to be out there. So I thought it was incredible. I mean, we looked at it as great for everyone.
But the NFL, which is a partner clearly of Nike's,
right, for 10 years.
And Kaepernick to some degree represents something that the NFL has tried to at least shift, which is they don't want players kneeling on the field. To some degree, you could argue that some of the players may start wearing his shoes as a alternative to that, to suggest that they are with him.
Look,
what does that say or do?
We've been consistent about this. We think that the issues that our players want to talk about are important issues, and we encourage them to do that. I think we are fortunate to have the players that we have. They're wonderful young men who actually care about their community and are using their platform to express issues. That is a very good thing. Nike's been about that for years.
Do you think there's a changing of the guard happening? It's early in the season. I'm seeing some weird things.
Oh, in the football, yeah. Well, look.
I mean, Kraft's on later. They're 1-2. When's the last time they were 1-2?
Well, I don't know, but I never.
A couple years ago, they started. I think
they did. So they're going to be fine. But do you see when you think about who maybe some of the great teams are this year? They're not your normal. It seems like they're different.
Incredible. I mean, when we look.
You're hoping for that in.
When we look at our business, I mean, our NFL business this year.
Yeah.
I just looked at the numbers this morning. We're up 34% for the year, 50% last weekend. Why? Because there's great change in the sport every year.
Yes.
That's why fans love the sport.
Seems like more this year for some reason. I don't know.
But, Joe, if you think about it, 14 out of the last 15 years, we've had at least one team, and usually many, many more, who go from last in their division to the playoffs.
Right.
Last year, we had 8 teams in the playoffs who didn't make the playoffs the year before. So
it's not. It's not.
I'll tell you how great fans are. The Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I looked at this stat this
they
morning.
look pretty good.
The Cleveland Browns, after Baker Mayfield went out and had his incredible game, the day after we did 40x the volume of the day last year for Cleveland Browns fans. Think about that. 40 times the volume. That's how rabid NFL fans are.
All right. The Bengals. I'm afraid to say anything about them because then they will start losing. I know.
We're going to have to run, but I just want to get Brian on this, and we can talk to Michael about this in a moment, a little bit later. But just gambling, sports and gambling. Mm-hmm. People talk about how it's going to engage the fan, but I know the NFL has questions about that as well.
No, I think there's no question it'll engage the fan. I mean, I think our priority first and foremost, and this is something we have to worry about, the sports leagues have to worry about, is maintaining the integrity of the game. So that means making sure that everyone around the game understands if gambling increases, that they have information that, if used improperly, could actually impact the integrity of the game. That's number one.
Meaning you're worried that people are going to at least speculate that the game's getting thrown, or that, or that there's inside information about players being injured or other things.
That's the last thing we want. We want to make sure that it's that the integrity of the game, because nobody, whether you're a gambler or not, or a gambler, are going to enjoy the game if they think it's not,
So it's even the
full of
appearance
integrity.
of